What's good, y'all? It's Next Gen Tech here.
Today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro that is slated to be released on November 7th of this year with pre-orders open now.
PlayStation 5 came out in 2020 with the promise of 8K gaming with up to 120 frames per second. Did that happen? No, but it was literally on the box.
Pricing for the PS5 Pro will start at $699.99. and it will be an all digital experience. Then if you'd like to get a disc drive, that would be $79.99, and you can also purchase a stand for $29.99. So think about that all in, you're looking at a little bit over $800 for the PS5 Pro if you really want to get the full experience, right? What do you think about the it being an all digital experience and you having to purchase the the disc drive nowadays?
That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
The price is a little steep. It makes it a little bit...
Not so fast, archvillain. We still have the Orb of Confusion. Take this.
Tough to justify its value. Previously, part of what made Sony a Sony experience is that you always had the options. Meaning like, hey, if I have a disc, I can share that disc with another peer or friend, etc. These days, it makes it a little bit more difficult, being that it's all digital first.
Do you think that's where we headed? Like, you think it's going to be an old digital experience moving forward, and disc drives are eventually just not going to come with a console whatsoever?
I think that's what they're trying to do with this version itself. We're trying to essentially gauge, hey, is this what's going to be the new norm? How many people are going to purchase this? How many purchases are going into the disc drive? And I think they're trying to gauge as far as sales. What's the risk versus reward?
That reminds me of when Apple, removed the headphone jack, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of it. But, like, do we miss it nowadays? Not really. So, obviously, it really comes down to time will tell what happens with that experience. At this point in time, being 2024, what do you think are the advantages of having a disc drive versus just keeping it an all digital experience?
Well, with digital experience, it's all about licensing. Whenever you make a purchase on these games, you don't truly own it. At any point in time, somebody can remove the servers, and that's it for that device. Or maybe your account is banned for whatever reason. Somebody feels like, hey, you were being mean to them. That can get your account shut down, and there goes your purchase. Versus me actually owning something, I put it into the console, and that gives me the ability to play.
Interesting. So more control from the actual, the makers of the games and from Sony itself. Some other details about the PS5 Pro is that the new GPU will allow you to maintain 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, but only on select titles. How do you feel about that?
That's what makes it a bit, like I mentioned earlier, tougher to justify the price. That 4K 60 frames per second isn't guaranteed on every title, but only select titles, primarily Sony exclusives at this point. Also, what makes it a tough sale in my opinion is a lot of these are geared towards older titles that have already been out for years and years and years. We don't really know what the future of gaming looks like on the horizon for the next year and following. There isn't a fancy God of War game. There isn't Spider-Man. There isn't Horizon Zero Dawn. We're just like, hey, we have better hardware, but what really is out there coming down the line to fully take advantage of it?
Yeah, that's right. And then how do you think this affects that obviously never-ending battle between like PlayStation and Xbox as gaming consoles? How do you think this PS5 Pro will position Sony to take advantage of it?
Sony, honestly. When it comes to that, Xbox isn't really doing anything fancy to separate themselves in the market other than Game Pass. I personally play both. I have an Xbox and PlayStation, but I really find myself in the PlayStation wheelhouse more so than the Xbox. I think Xbox has a great value, but they don't have anything to really separate themselves. So Sony will be Sony. Sony is the dominant force, really, next to, I guess, Nintendo. Both brands do what they do very well. Sony's very geared towards the resource heavier games, the single player experience. Nintendo's very Nintendo. They take advantage of their IPs such as Pokemon, Mario, Metroid, Zelda. They're gonna get people are gonna play Nintendo regardless of what they do.
Yeah, they got that fan base that grew with the game, and now they just want to see new versions of it. I mean, that's how they got me back in the day, you know. I literally bought a console just to be able to play Super Mario. So, yeah, I understand that. That's our thoughts on the PS5 Pro. Please let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you have any questions, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel so you can continue to see videos like this one where we cover gaming from different perspectives.